Hello, everyone, and welcome to our January Q&A, the first Q&A for this year. I'm so excited to have you here with me. I hope you all had a great start to 2023, and I wish you an amazing year ahead. Now, what we're going to do today is I want to spend just a few minutes here going through something before we deep dive into coaching. So I'm going to record this first part, but then I'm going to stop recording as we go into our second part, where we are going to be working on your questions, where we are going to be coaching, where we are going to be brainstorming. So bear with me until we get there. The reason why I wanted to record this part is because I know it's going to be very, very helpful to a lot of other people. There are some people that wanted to join us today who couldn't. So I said, I'm going to record this first part and make it available to others. But as I said, I'm going to stop recording as we start coaching so that we can be in a more private space altogether, right? So essentially what I wanted to spend these first few minutes talking about is I want to encourage you to challenge yourself on a couple of aspects that I'm going to share with you now. And how are you doing with those at the moment? And also ask yourself, how can you improve those as you go through this year, right? So we are not coming from a point of, let me shame myself, let me criticize myself, let me blame myself or others. No, we are purely objectively reflecting on what is happening and then thinking, how can I improve, right? So what are my learnings and how can I use those learnings as I move forward? All right. Okay, so the first thing that I want you to reflect upon and ask yourself is, how is my career life? How is my current career life reflecting, or let me rephrase this. How do my values and standards fit into my current career life, right? So think about, what are your values? What are your standards? And how are you representing those or staying true to those in your career life, right? In your relationship with other people, in your position, in how much you're giving to the world, in how much you're creating, in how much value you are providing others with. So really, really think about it. And where are you maybe not showing up as true to your values and standards? Because what I also see, like what I often see, is that a lot of people get influenced by their environment and they start kind of compromising on certain values and standards. And what you really want to come to is that you stay true to your values and standards, no matter how uncomfortable that might be at times, and no matter how, it may be perceived by other people, right? So I really want you to think about those. If you've never thought about those, then write those values and standards down for yourself. Think about, what are the most important things in my life? What are the most important values really that I look up to, certain things that are non-negotiable for me, certain things that are also non-negotiable for me in other people, right? Or at work as well, in the environment. So think about, how are you true to those, right? Because what happens is that if we go long by not really staying true to those values and standards, we cannot be happy, right? We cannot be happy, and this frustration and lack shows up. It starts showing up in different aspects of our lives, not only in our work, right, but also in other aspects of our life too, right? So you really want to think about, what are my values and standards, and how am I being true to those in my current work environment? You can also obviously expand that and think about, in my life, but we are talking about career here, all right? The second thing that I want you to think about is, do you work on your skills and knowledge daily? Not sometimes, not every once in a while, right? But daily. And if your answer is yes, I want you to ask yourself, what are you doing exactly? That means improving your skills, improving your knowledge. So really, really go deeper to understand, what are those activities? Because what you want to strive towards is that you really work on yourself every single day. This can be in many different forms, right? This can be in a form of reading. This can be in a form of being in a networking group. This can be in a form of participating in different courses. This can be in a form of having a coach or a mentor, which is the next point I'm going to talk about, right? What are you doing that is actively improving your knowledge and skills, that is actively investing in yourself and up-leveling your competences? The next point, what I mentioned, coach and or mentor? Do you have somebody like that? If yes, amazing. What are you getting from working with them? If no, why not? Right? Why not? They're like, I don't even know what to say, like infinite benefits of having a person next to you who is helping you and supporting you in your journey, right? You want to think about who can that person be for you. Why wouldn't you have such a person next to you, someone who can help you expand your views, gain new perspectives, consider different options that you've never even thought before about, share their experience, challenge you, help you get out of your comfort zone, keeping you accountable? Like, why wouldn't you have somebody like that with you, really? And also another thing that I want to offer to you here is that often, of course, we talk to our friends and our family and our colleagues about our career journeys and improvements and so forth. But keep in mind that these people know you, right? Like they really, really know you. And therefore, it's very hard for them to be objective towards you, objective towards your goals, right? And they come from a point of love, right? And they want to kind of even maybe comfort you in certain ways. So having a coach and or a mentor is having a professional next to you who can help you to be objective, who is trained to be objective, who is trained to give you different tools and equip you with different systems and processes so that you can become better, right? So again, do you have a coach or a mentor? If yes, what are you getting from that relationship? What is the intention? What is that you want to get from that relationship? And if you don't, why not? Why wouldn't you want to have somebody like that in your life? All right. Now, the next one is something that I think is probably one of the most important aspects. I read about it in no, it's not true. Actually, I heard about it in a podcast of one of my mentors, Brooke Castillo, by the way, and she was talking about that. And this really stuck with me so, so much because I think it's so very true. And that is one of the traits, so to say, that the most successful people in the world have is they're willing to experience any kind of emotion, right? So emotions like fear and shame and being criticized and feeling bad and feeling good and failing and whatever, right? Like they're willing to experience all those because they understand that all these emotions are firstly and foremost a normal human experience. And secondly, they know this is a part of their journey. Only by being able or being willing to experience all sorts of emotions, only like that can you truly explore everything that there is outside for you. Think about it. Because what I see a lot, and what you for sure see as well, and maybe you're experiencing it personally too, is that people are afraid, for example, of what will others say. So they hold back, they don't show up, they don't do what I would want to do. Or they're afraid to fail in a certain form. So again, they don't show up, they don't go for it, right? They stay in their comfort zone. Or they're afraid to be criticized, so they don't speak up, they don't follow a certain idea they've had because they're too concerned about what others will do. So think about that. What are you escaping? What emotions are you avoiding? And how can you stop doing that? And it doesn't have to be, remember, it doesn't have to be that now you go from nothing to 100, right? It doesn't have to be that way, but think about what could be the way in the middle, right? So if you are, for example, this is like a very recent example I had in one of my coaching sessions. One of my clients would really love to start leading team meetings and would like to start becoming more active in that and, take leadership and take ownership of that. But they're very, very kind of, afraid because so far they haven't been that active, they haven't been participating. So going from not participating to leading a meeting might be too big of a jump. So what could be some steps in the middle, right? So that could be, for example, that you start by asking a couple of questions in a meeting. Then next time you share some of your experience about a certain topic you're talking about. Then afterwards you have a part of the meeting, you lead a part of the meeting, and then you get to the point where you're leading the whole meeting, for example, right? So ask yourself, what is that something for you? Another thing that I want to say here is that avoiding, procrastinating, trying to pretend as if it's not there for any emotion makes that emotion only bigger, right? Facing that something, facing that action will make that emotion kind of go away, right? So if you're afraid of something, going away from it and kind of escaping it will not make it go away. Going in, like facing it and embracing it and going towards it is going to make that fear smaller, or it will make it completely go away, right? Because then we start making stories and, oh my God, it's so horrible and this and that, right? So we are making the whole matter much, much bigger than it actually might be. So think about that for yourself. And another one that I wanted to talk to you about is to reflect on the circle of people you're surrounded with. Who are you surrounded with? And how are these people making you better? And also, how are you making those people better? Right? So it's a two-way street. It's not only that we are receiving, but we're giving and receiving all the time. That's a solid relationship. That's what makes a solid relationship. So think about, how do people around you inspire you, challenge you, make you be better, make you be you, make you show up, make you go out of your comfort zone? How are they there for you, that you can talk to them, that you can share your ideas? What kind of conversations do you have with them? Really reflect on that. And again, then ask yourself, how are you showing up for your people too? And how would you like to show up for your people? Okay, so this is the intro to our career Q&A today. If you have any questions so far, please feel free to comment below. We're going to stop recording here and we're going to start coaching. Let's go.